Hello Year 9 and welcome back to another video in our statistics and data topic. Today we're looking at other ways of describing data. Okay, last lesson we looked at skew, and this lesson we're going to be looking at mean, median and range. And we're going to be comparing two different data sets by using these values. So first of all, let's go through each of these. You would have learnt these in previous years, but we'll just have a quick recap. The mean is another word for the average, and the way that we calculate that is just by adding up the total value of the data points and dividing it by the number of data points. So it's the total, total value of data points and divided by the number of data points. Now we should be quite familiar with that concept. Okay, and what that gives us is kind of like what is roughly a score that's in the middle. Now, the median is a similar concept, but it's subtly different. What the median is, it is the middle score. So if you were to line up all of the scores in order from smallest to biggest, and the middle one would be the median. Okay, now this is going to differ from the mean when you have a skewed set of data. So if most of your data points are small numbers and you've got this long tail of big numbers, then the median is going to be smaller than your mean, your average. Those big numbers, even though there are not as many of them, are going to influence the mean more, whereas the median, that middle number is still going to be towards that end. Now, the same would happen if you had a negatively skewed data set where you had lots of big numbers. The mean would shift and would be smaller than the median. So the median is just the middle data point. And if you have an even number of data points, you take the two middle ones and then you average those. So you add them together and divide by 2. That's how you calculate the median if you have an even number of data points. But it's just the one in the middle. Okay, the range is just the difference between the highest data point and the lowest data point, or the biggest data point and the smallest. So it's just the highest, take away the lowest, and that gives us what is the space between all of data points that they exist in. How big is that space? And that is what the range does. So it kind of tells us how spread apart are these data points that we have. That's what the range does. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use these values to describe two different data sets after we've created a stem and leaf plot. So you can see in this example, it's the times taken for students to get to school. We've got two classes, so two separate data sets. Each of them have 25 students or 25 data points in them. The first thing we have to do is draw a back-to-back stem and leaf plot for this data. Okay, so remember, we can do a stem and leaf plot where we take the first digit as the stem, and then the second digit will be our leaf. And we can put this back to back by having leaves on either side of the stem, representing the two different data points. So we'll have 9p, and then our stem in the middle, and we'll have 9w next to it. Okay. And so our numbers here, I can see we've got a 15 and it ranges up to 86. So our stems are going to be 1 to 8. So we can write those down vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then draw our nice ruled straight lines. Okay, remember, use your ruler. It's a bit harder to do on a computer screen, but make sure that you're doing it nice and neat. Okay, and we've got our little stem and leaf plot here. What we've got to do then is list all the scores. Now there's 25 scores. It can be a little tedious, but we'll go through it one by one. So for 9p, the ones in the 1, I can see a 19, a 15, and an 18. So the leaves are going to be 5, 8, and 9. Okay, for the 2s in 9p, I can see there's a 22, there's another 22, there's a 25, two 25s. What else can we see in the 20s? There's a 26 and a 29 and a 29. Are there any other ones that I've missed? That looks like that's all of them. So we can write those out. So there are two 22s. So we can write 2 twice, and then 5 twice for the 25s, 26, and then 2 29s. Didn't quite fit them in there. Make sure you leave enough space. But you can see how we go about this. Okay, for the 30s, let's have a look. We've got a 31, we've got a 33, we've got another 33. Are there any other 30s? 38, 34. Okay, so let's go through that. We've got 31, 3, 3, 4, and what was the other one? 38. Okay, so we have 5 in the 30s. We had 7 in the 2s, in the 20s. All right, let's look at our 40s. So 40s, we've got a 44, a 49. What else do we have? 42, 45, 49 again. So we've got a 42, a 44, and we've got a 45 and 2 49s. So 49 here and 49 here. Okay, for the 50s, let's have a look. We've got a 55, we've got a 54. That's all that we have for the 50s. And for the 60s, but none in that top row, we've got a 67 and a 65. So we can add those in. We don't have any 70s for 9p, and for 80, we have an 86, so just one data point. Now, there should be 25 data points in your leave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We've got 25, which means we haven't missed any numbers. Good job. Okay, let's do the same for 9W. We have an 18 and we have a 19. So 8 and 9. For the 20s, we have a 22. We have 23 and a 25. I don't see any other 20s, so 2, 3, and 5. For our 30s, we've got a 31. We've got a 34. We've got a 35. And is that all that we have? There's an, oh, no, 38. So 31, 34, 35, and 38 are our 30s here. Now let's look at our 40s. 48, 49, 47, 49 again, 42. Did I miss any there? Let's just go through. So we've got 2, 42, 47, 48. Hang on, I think I've missed something. Yes, 40. Nope. 42, 47, 48, and 2 49s. For our 50s, let's go through. We've got a 50 on its own, 58, 53, 57, 58 again, 58 again. Now, is that it? I think so. So we've got 50, a 53, a 54, and we've got 57, and then it was 3 58s. Right, we're almost there, just a few more points to go. So 67, 66, 65. I think that's all we've got. And 70s, 74. Any other 70s there? Doesn't look like it. And then no 80s from what I can see either. So we're finally finished. We should have 25 points. 5, 9, 14, 21, 25 points. So we've finished our stem and leaf plot. Thank goodness. So that's part A done. And then comment on the shape of each distribution. So you can see here, this one's got a lot more in the smaller numbers, and this one's got a lot more in the bigger numbers. So we can say that 9p is positively skewed, because it has more smaller numbers than bigger numbers, and 9w is negatively skewed. Okay, and lastly, we're going to use those terms, mean, median, and mode. Now, to calculate the mean, that's a little bit laborious when we're doing this many data points, but let's bring across our calculator. Okay, and you can see if we add up all of our points, so it's going to be 15 plus 18 plus 19 plus 22 plus 22 plus 25. And you go through all of this, adding it all up. 26 plus 29 plus 29 plus 31 plus 33 plus 33 plus 34 plus 42 and just a few more to go for this one. 54 plus 55 plus 65 plus 67 plus 86, and then equals, and then we have, that's our total, and then we need to divide it by the number, so we've got 25 of these. So our mean is 38.2, as you can see here. Now, I'm not going to go through this all again, calculate this all, but we'll just discuss the median and the range. So for 9p, the mean was 38.2. The median was, so we need to count, if we've got 25 data points, the middle data point is going to be the 13th point. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 33 is our median. Okay, and you can see here how the median and the mean give us different information about these two data sets. Because the median is less, that shows us that we have this positive skewing going on. So you can see those numbers are kind of evidence for that skewing beyond just the visual evidence. Okay, and the range is just going to be the biggest minus the smallest. So our biggest one was 86 minus 15. So the range would be 71 in this instance. Now, I'm not going to go through and calculate all of these ones for the other data set, but we'll just go through the answers here. So the mean for W adds up to be 45.6, and the median is 49 for that class, and the range is 56. So what do these information pieces give you? So here again for 9W, the median is higher instead of lower than the mean. So that shows us that we have that negative skewing. The median is shifted, or the number of data points are shifted to the bigger numbers. So the median is going to be bigger than the mean. We also have a smaller range. So the gap between the highest and the lowest is much smaller for 9 9W class than it was for the 9P class. Okay, so I hope you get an idea of how these numbers can give us a sort of quantitative measure of these different data sets, and we can compare those and compare the different information that we get from these data points. I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck with the questions. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you later.